Quote, sir, and I'm going to say that your lack of an answer confirms what we've known all along. The Trump administration is not serious.
And I'm not going to stand for that.
You are not a serious person. You are not serious about rooting out, fighting anti-Semitism within the ranks of our DOD. It's despicable. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Nevada Senator Jackie Rosen confronted Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth over two deeply troubling allegations: the presence of anti-Semitic rhetoric within the Department of Defense and claims that far-right activist Laura Loomer may be influencing high-level military personnel decisions. What was meant to be a routine oversight hearing quickly turned into a fierce clash about values, leadership, and who truly controls the United States military.
Senator Rosen, you were recognized. I thought I would just create a stir down there.
No. I thank you to my seatmates on both sides. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We take care of each other. And again, thank you, Chairman Wicker, Ranking Member Reed, for holding this hearing. Mr. Secretary, we have a short amount of time, so I'm just going to ask a few simple questions, and I would just appreciate if for some of them you would just answer yes or no. And so, Secretary Hegseth, would you agree that every senior official in the Department of Defense must reflect the values and conduct that our service members must uphold and our citizens expect?
Senator, we want to uphold the highest possible standards.
I'll take that for a yes. So would you also agree then that anti-Semitism and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories have no place in our government or military? Yes or no?
They should not.
Thank you. So would you also agree that anyone who has posted, and I'm going to quote, anti-Semitic conspiracy theories lifted right out of a neo-Nazi playbook, end quote, shouldn't be anywhere near a position of power? Yes or no?
Since I don't believe the characterization of many officials in the news media, I would need to see precisely what's being characterized.
But generally, would you not say that if
generally
we
speaking,
thought something
sure,
was coming out of a neo-Nazi playbook, it doesn't have any place in our Department of Defense? Now, Secretary Hegseth, the quote that I just read you was referencing Ms. Kingsley Wilson, the DOD press secretary. It's a direct quote from her, who my Republican colleagues on this committee have also expressed alarm over due to her comments. In fact, one colleague said, and I'm going to quote again, "Obviously, I don't agree with her comments. I trust the Pentagon will address this," end quote. However, in the months since, not only have you not addressed these anti-Semitic comments, you have promoted Ms. Wilson. This seems to be at odds, honestly, with President Trump's commitment, very public commitment, to combat anti-Semitism, which you just said you too agreed with. So, Secretary Hegseth, given the rise in anti-Semitic violence, hate crimes in our nation, and to show that the Trump administration, your administration, does have a zero-tolerance policy for anti-Semitism, will you dismiss Ms. Kingsley from her role as a U.S. military spokesperson today, yes or no?
Again, that's why I referenced the context and characterization.
Well, we'll send you the quote,
I've worked directly with her. She does a fantastic job, and there's any suggestion that I or her or others are party to anti-Semitism is a mischaracterization attempting to win political points.
Sir, and I'm going to say
Senator, you're attempting to win political points on the backs of mischaracterizing the statements of a member of my department, and I'm not going to stand for that.
You are not a serious person. You are not serious about rooting out, fighting anti-Semitism within the ranks of our DOD. It's despicable. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. I'm going to move on to General Hawk. The sudden and inexplicable dismissal of General Hawk. He serves both the director of the National Security Agency, commander of U.S. Cybercom. It's deeply concerning, raises significant questions about the decision-making process, its potential consequences. Public reports indicate that the removal of General Hawk, who has served his country proudly, has been influenced by social media influencer, a personality on social media, Laura Loomer, spreads conspiracy theories. She's been denounced even by Republicans. And the idea is that any leaders within our agencies responsible for our nation's security, somebody would be dismissed based on the advice of a social media influencer, is alarming to say the least. It's surely not how we should be running our military. So were you consulted regarding General Hawk's dismissal, yes or no?
Well, Senator, I would not advise believing everything you read in the media.
Were you-
And I'm
were you
consulted on every
consulted?
single decision.
Okay,
I'm
so
the
that's
decision maker
alarming.
for the
It's your
department, and we all
department,
serve
Mr.
at the pleasure
Okay.
of the president,
Okay.
and
So
we have
what
the
was your-
prerogative to
what
make
was
those
your
decisions
what
for
was
the
your
best for the
recommendation?
country,
Did
and
you
we did
personally
that.
approve Mr. Hawk's dismissal, yes or no?
Anyone coming or going
Personally
at the
approve
Defense
it.
Department, especially at that level, would ultimately be a decision
So
made by
that's a
me,
yes.
and I
Did you
stand
personally
behind that.
relieve him?
Excuse
Did
me?
you personally relieve him? Yes or no?
Anyone at that level
You did,
who is
so that's a
relieved
yes.
would be relieved by the Secretary of Defense.
Was there a specific justification for General Hawk's dismissal? Was there a specific justification for General Hawk's dismissal?
Ma'am, we all serve at the pleasure of the president, and the president deserves the type
it
of
true?
commanders and advisors that he thinks will best
Did you
equip him
discuss General
to
Hawk's
accomplish the
dismissal with
mission.
Laura Loomer prior to his removal?
I don't discuss who I talk about anything with, but ultimately this is my decision, and he serves at the pleasure of the president, and that's why he's no longer there.
So do you believe it's appropriate for any social media personality to influence personnel decisions in your department, yes or no?
I believe your time is up, Senator.
Oh, it is not up to you to tell me when my time is up.
Well, the time
And I
of
am
the
going to say,
senator-
Mr. Secretary, you're either feckless or complicit. You're not in control of your department. You're as unserious. It is shocking. You're not combating anti-Semitism within your ranks. It's a dangerous and pivotal time in our nation's history. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back. And I don't appreciate the smirk, sir. You are the Secretary of Defense.
The time of the gentlelady has expired.
Rosen began calmly, asking whether senior Pentagon officials should reflect the same standards expected of service members. Hegseth agreed in principle, but the tone shifted when the senator raised the issue of anti-Semitism. She pressed him to affirm that conspiracy theories rooted in neo-Nazi ideology have no place in government or the armed forces. After some hesitation, he conceded they should not, but stopped short of a clear condemnation tied to specific individuals. The senator then named the heart of the controversy, Kingsley Wilson, the current Pentagon press secretary. Rosen quoted previous statements attributed to Wilson that critics described as lifted from an anti-Semitic playbook. She pointed out that even Republican lawmakers had expressed alarm, yet instead of discipline, Wilson had been promoted. Rosen argued that this directly contradicted President Trump's public pledge to combat anti-Semitism and asked a simple question: would Hegseth dismiss her today? The secretary refused. He defended Wilson as doing a fantastic job and accused the senator of mischaracterizing her comments for political gain. That response ignited the hearing. Rosen fired back, telling Hegseth he was not serious about rooting out hatred in the ranks and that protecting someone accused of such views was despicable. The exchange revealed a deeper divide over whether the Pentagon is confronting extremism or quietly tolerating it. The confrontation did not end there. Rosen turned to the sudden removal of General Hawk, the respected head of the National Security Agency and U.S. Cyber Command. Public reports suggested that social media personality Laura Loomer, known for promoting conspiracy theories and inflammatory rhetoric, had pushed for the general's dismissal. The idea that an online activist could shape decisions at the highest levels of national security stunned many observers. Rosen asked directly whether Hegseth had been consulted on Hawk's firing. The secretary replied that he is involved in every major decision and that all officials serve at the pleasure of the president. But when pressed on whether there was a specific justification, he offered none beyond that same phrase. He refused to say whether he had discussed the matter with Loomer and would not reject the idea of outside influencers playing a role. For experts who follow civil-military relations, this moment was alarming. The NSA director oversees some of the nation's most sensitive intelligence and cyber operations. Removing such a figure without explanation can disrupt alliances, ongoing missions, and the morale of thousands of professionals. Traditionally, changes at that level are driven by strategy or performance, not by pressure from internet personalities. Rosen ended her her time with a blistering assessment, telling the secretary he appeared either feckless or complicit, and warning that the nation faces a dangerous moment in history. Her words reflected a growing fear that political loyalty and online outrage are beginning to outweigh experience and national security judgment. Beyond the theatrics, the hearing raised questions Americans rarely hear answered. How does the Pentagon vet its spokespeople? What safeguards exist to keep hate ideology away from the military chain of command? And who truly advises the Secretary of Defense when generals are hired or fired? These issues affect Jewish service members, intelligence officers tracking foreign threats, and families who depend on a stable military leadership. The controversy also highlights the changing power of social media in Washington. Influencers once confined to the internet now appear to have the ear of top officials. Supporters say this opens government to new voices. Critics warn it replaces expertise with conspiracy. The clash between Rosen and Hegseth captured that struggle in real time. As investigations continue, the Pentagon faces a credibility test. Will it demonstrate zero tolerance for bigotry, or will accusations be dismissed as politics? Will personnel decisions be explained transparently or hidden behind vague loyalty to the president? The answers will shape trust in the military for years to come. Stay with us and remember to subscribe for continued coverage and analysis.